Hi guys, my Vernon here. How's everybody doing on there? And today you guys are not seeing my lovely face today. I'm just messing with you guys. Welcome back to the Opinion Spot. And I know a lot of you guys have been wanting to hear me talk about this and talk about this casting. And yeah, man, let's get right into it. So I waited a while because I wanted to hear if there was any more news coming out of the Captain Marvel camp, and I'm talking about Captain Marvel, the original, not Carol Danvers. You guys know me; I will not use that S name for him. But I'm going to talk about the two that have been casted as the main stars. You could kind of say the title stars. So let's start off with Zachary Levi, who was casted as Captain Marvel. Um, what happens when young Billy Batson says the words Shazam, and he becomes this grown, uh, mythical man who still has the mind of a child, but he has the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules. All the acronyms mean something. The S means Solomon, H means Hercules, the A means Atlas, the electricity, the lightning comes from Zeus. A is Achilles, and his speed is from like the speed of Mercury. And that's what happens when Billy screams the wizard's name, the wizard Shazam name. Um, I know a lot of people are pretty much not really kind of cool with this idea, like Zachary Levi's as Shazam. I'm about to call him as Captain Marvel, and they kind of looked at it like, "Wait, who's this? Who's this guy?" And for anybody who doesn't know, Mr. Levi's, his big claim to fame is from Chuck. He was the main title in the show Chuck. I watched a few episodes of Chuck, and he was pretty funny. And then of course there's but he was also the replacement for Joshua Dallas as Fandral, the Dashing in the Thor movies. He was Fandral for Dark World and Ragnarok. So he replaced Joshua Dallas as Fandral. But other than that, I don't really mind this casting as Mr. Levi's, because he, from the way I look at it and from the way he portrays Chuck and everything, he has that childlike mentality at times. That man-child mentality that I was definitely looking for. I was looking for an actor who can pull off that kind of aspect of when Billy turns into Captain Marvel. He still has that kind of that childlike, that childlike attitude. And Mr. Levi's can pull that off really well. And the only thing I would say is, yeah, he definitely needs to hit the weight, hit the gym, definitely. And I'm talking about he needs to get crazy buff, but somewhere in the realms of how Henry Cavill did for Superman. See how Henry Cavill looked at Superman? He was pretty buff. He did mass training, and that's kind of think of what he needs to do, because you're gonna be your opposition is going to be the Rock as Black Adam. So in a sense, Mr. Levi has to stand a little bit like, okay, the Wizard Shazam chose Black Adam as his defender, his avatar, but Teth Adam was not what he thought he was going to be. So he chooses Billy Batson now, and when he turns, he should feel like, okay, he can oppose Black Adam, played by The Rock, who I think we all knew was the perfect choice. That was the perfect role for Mr. Johnson. But yeah, I'm interested in this role. I know a lot of people are really against it. I'm just like, give it a shot. Not gonna judge right now. We haven't even started filming there. The production hasn't even started yet. But I think he's gonna do pretty well. I'm hoping they keep the current costume, or even go with the original costume. Where Billy has like that half like cape. It's not a full cape. It's like almost like only on one shoulder. But my guess is they're gonna go with more the current look with the hoodie look that he has now, which will be fine. But I feel that Mr. Levi's can capture that that childlike mentality of a child. I can only imagine seeing when he turns into Captain Marvel for the first time. He kind of plays off that same kind of attitude that he had in the Superman Captain Marvel short, where he was like, "Holy moly, I'm big," and and he finds out kind of all, I'm fast, I'm strong, you know, I could fly, things like that. And all I had to do was say Shazam, and then maybe the lightning bolt hits him. He turns back into Billy again, which would be pretty cool. Um, so I'm looking. I'm very interested in Mr. Levi's as Captain Marvel. Um, that's just me. I'm not sure how everybody else feels, but you guys wanted to hear my thoughts on Mr. Levi's as Captain Marvel, and I'm giving it to you guys. So yeah, I find it to be very interesting, very cool. Let's see where it goes. I think Mr. Levi can do it. In terms of his tweet or his Instagram post, I heard a lot of people got a little mad about it, or people saying, yeah, this is shots fired. Basically, he went on to say he's very appreciative about being casted as Captain Marvel, but he really put the emphasis on the original Captain Marvel, and a lot of people take that as like, oh, that's a shot at Marvel because they're coming out with Captain Marvel movie, with Brie Larson. Um, Personally, I don't really think it was. I because Billy Batson is the original Captain Marvel. He's just stating facts. But I think it was mainly how people deterred it, basically, in terms of like, yeah, that's a shot. Once again, another, measuring contest between the big two, dick measuring contest, I guess. But it is what it is. I just think he was appreciative of it. And here is another actor that went from doing Marvel to doing now DC, and it's gone vice versa. You know, he was Fandral, from the Warriors 3, and now he's gonna be the title character in the Captain Marvel movie, guys. I won't call it what it is, but yeah, Billy Shazam. I said Shazam. I'm gonna slap myself for saying that. Captain Marvel, Zachary Levi's. And then recently, guys, we found out who was going to play young Billy Batson. That was the other biggest question that I think we all wanted to know: who's going to play his Billy Batson, the young boy who turns into Captain Marvel. And it was recently decided that Asher Angel is going to be uh, Billy Batson. Now, I was really interested. I'm like, okay, who is this? Who's this kid? Like, who's this kid? Where is he from? And everything like that. And and I'm not familiar with his work, but I did some research into figuring out who this young man is, and he's from a Disney show called Andy Mack. He plays a character on there called Jonah Beck, and on the Disney Channel. Um, I can't really say anything bad about this. You need somebody, a talented young actor. I mean, I think a lot of us were saying maybe they should have got one of the kids from Stranger Things. I was saying that myself, but yeah, I can't really say too much bad things about this. He kind of feels a little. I could see Billy. I can see the Billy in him. I'm not really quite sure how old he is, but it's still cool. I got no problem with that at all. Uh, at all. But it's been recently stated that um, not only will of course, The Rock as Black Adam, but Mark Strong is in talks of being a villain. My guess is he's going to be Dr. Savannah. And it was also stated that um, Annabelle Creations Grace Fulton will play one of Billy's friends, and I'm thinking maybe Mary. I'm thinking she's been casted as Mary, who would later on become Mary Marvel. Uh, but not bad so far. I'm looking forward to seeing the Captain Marvel movie. Yeah, it starts shooting before the Flashpoint movie, before the Batgirl movie, and before the Suicide Squad sequel. But yeah, and even before, I think even before a couple other movies. But all looks well. I'm gonna keep an open mind, guys, with this. And yeah, you guys tell me in the comment section below. How do you feel about the casting of Captain Marvel and Billy Batson? But other than that, you guys take care. This was the Opinion Spot. Thank you for listening. Uh, y'all take care.